Hello, 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 and welcome to the Reclaim Your Life podcast with me, Vicky Igbokwe-Ozoagu, your self-first instigator, supporting you to kick-start the habit of putting you first. A tiki what? A tiki ooh. Ah, a tiki what, tiki tiki ooh. Wee. Listen, how are you doing? You're a few weeks into the new year. How are you really feeling? I want you to take a second to check in with yourself. Has 2025 started with a bang? A gentle hum? Or maybe, just maybe, it's feeling a little uncertain. Listen, wherever you are right now, this is the moment to pause, take a breath, take a deep breath, reflect, and reset. Why? Well, because this year is yours to shape. Truly, it is. This year is yours to shape. And I really want you to hear me as I say that to you. I want you to start with a win. Yes, a win. We celebrate in my world, which is also your world too. What's one thing you're proud of accomplishing, achieving, experiencing so far this year? And it doesn't have to be something huge, right? Maybe you've finally taken that first step towards a personal project that you've been putting on the back burner for years. Or maybe you've set a boundary that felt uncomfortable to set, to have that conversation, and also really necessary because you've realized that that relationship, that connection, that expectation is no longer serving you. Or simply, and simple is good, maybe you've just made time for yourself in a way that you haven't before. Small wins matter. They build momentum. They remind you that you're moving forward, even when it doesn't feel like it. So, what's one small win you can acknowledge today, right now, in this moment, where you give yourself a pat on the back and a standing ovation because you've done it? And again, I really want to stress the size of the win, actually, for me, is irrelevant. It's about the quality it's bringing to your life. That's what you're celebrating. And what's happening for you energy wise? We look at how you're feeling. How aligned are you? How aligned do you feel with your intentions for the year? Are there areas where you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, a bit confused? And listen, before you start to clutch your imaginary pearls, I need to, I have to, I am going to remind you that this is not, I repeat, not about judgment. It's about awareness. Okay? This is not about judgment. I am not judging you here. I am here for you. This is all about you being aware. Because when you can name that feeling, when you can name what's feeling good, what's feeling great, what's feeling fabulous, and what's feeling off, what's feeling icky, what's feeling sticky, you give yourself the power to adjust. You give yourself the power to pivot. You give yourself the power to shift. And every day, every time we meet, I'm going to remind you that you have the power to move things in the way that you desire. Because maybe you started this year strong and you already feel like you're running on empty a few weeks in. Maybe you set a goal and you're already like, actually, that doesn't fit anymore. I don't think I actually want to do that. Well, I'm here to remind you that that's okay because awareness leads you to realignment. It leads you to that reset of going, yeah, I thought I wanted that, but actually, that's not important. Because we both know that the start of a new year often comes with these big, bold resolutions. You're going to go from not being in the gym for 12 months to going to the gym 5 days a week, just like that. Yeah, I've made that resolution once and it definitely didn't pan out the way I saw it in my head. But as we both know, life doesn't always unfold the way you expect. And I really want to let you know and remind you, and I know I will sound like a broken record, but for me, it's the simple truth. When life doesn't unfold the way that you expect it, that's not failure. Because I know you're quick. I know you're quick to give yourself that label, but it's not failure. It's simply part of the process. Life is going to life. There are going to be ups and downs and round and arounds. So I feel like I can hear you asking, okay, Vicky, so how can I realign? Because I definitely feel out of sync. Well, as always, I've got you, right? And I want to start you off with these three small and mighty steps. So, number one is revisit your goals. Go back to the goals, go back to the vision that you had, and just do a check in. Which ones still excite you? Which ones need tweaking, adjusting? And listen, which ones need letting go? Because sometimes you might just have too many things on that list. A list of 10 can absolutely be a list of two. So, first action is revisit your goals. Which ones still excite you? Which ones need tweaking? And which ones need letting go? Number two, prioritize what matters most to you. Heavy on the to you. Because you don't need to do everything at once. That's actually impossible. Be realistic and listen to you. What's truly important to you right now? And again, heavy on the to you right now. Because it's not about what others say you should be doing. And I'm putting should in quotations, yeah? It's not what about others say you should be doing or what you should think is important or even what you say to yourself should be important. It's about what is truly important to you right now. So when you're doing this second action, I really want you to turn down the noise around you and look within. Listen to you, your voice, and really hear and feel what is important to you. Because if you prioritize everything, guess what? Nothing is actually going to get done. All right. Okay. Third one is create small steps. Because I know you got big goals. Listen, you're a high achiever. You are killing it in your field. But even for you, sometimes big goals can feel overwhelming, right? I know I experienced that too. So the trick here is to have that big vision, that big goal, and figure out what are the small steps to get you there. Small, intentional, informed steps. Now, these are powerful. So, what's one thing you can do today to move you closer to your vision? And then I want you to think, what's one small thing you can do tomorrow to get you closer to your vision? And then what's one small thing you can do the next day and the next day? Because I believe in the little and often theory. And this is where instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I've got this really big goal, I want to write a book. Okay. I want to write a book. So I'm going to write this book in a week. Um, how I know for me, I definitely would not be able to do that, right? So a small and mighty step might be you've got this goal to write this book, and you're going to find 20 minutes a day for the next week to do some research about what do you need to think about to write a book. So every day you mark out 20 minutes, and it might be some research on the internet. You might be watching a podcast. You might be reading an article. You might be doing a little bit of research about top tips, right? So you take the time to put in some small steps that are going to feed you. If I know that I want to write a book, if you're thinking about writing a book, building up that research, that intel, that knowledge into how you do it, those are all things that are moving you one step closer to your goal. And then when you get into the writing of the book, you might set yourself a daily challenge where you go, going to write 500 words a day for the next month. So you see just how those small and mighty steps compound and roll into supporting your goal. So that's what I'm talking about with small steps. Because this is where you will feel the momentum. And that's what I want you to experience. Now, another way to think about this, and I got this from one of my previous coaches, and she would say, when you wake up in the morning, think about one task that you can do for you that pours into you and puts you first, puts your goals first, puts your aspirations first. And that has really stuck with me. And it's something that I do till today. I wake up and I go, what's one thing that I can do for me? Sometimes that's about exercising my health, making sure I get out of the house, take a walk. Sometimes that is about doing research in terms of this podcast that I have for you. So that I just wanted to offer you that because that might be another thing for you. What's one thing you can do that pours into you every day that will move you forward? All right. So, I've always got a few questions for you. So, I want to give you some 2025, some new year check in questions. Here we go. What's one intention you set for 2025 that still excites you? Next question. What's one thing you can let go of because it no longer aligns with your values, your goals, your joy, your peace? And then, how can you recommit to putting yourself first as you move into the next phase of this year? So those are your questions. And I want you to take a moment to think about these. You can journal, you can record into your phone, you can draw, you can get as creative as you want. Because also the answers might surprise you. And I want you to give yourself time to do this week. I think 30 to 45 minutes. And you might even decide to do it in two chunks for you to have a personal check-in. You reflecting on your wins, you're realigning your goals, and you'll choose one small step that's going to move you forward. Because this is your journey. And as I've said, and I will always say, you have the power to shape it. You have the power to shift it. You have the power to pivot. And it starts and continues with you. Now, if you're listening to this and your brain is whirling a little bit and you're going, okay, Vicky, like, how do we, like, can I do this with you? My answer is, of course, we can. Of course, we can. You might want to check out my Clarity and Courage Intensive. Yes, it's a bespoke one-to-one private coaching opportunity with me, where you have me in your back pocket as part of your support team for 30 days. And we do a deep dive, and you have me walking alongside you as you go through this transformative process. So if you're feeling like, Vicky, can we talk? Of course we can. You can go to my website, www.vickiigbokwe.com. That's VICKIIGBOKWE.com. All the information that you need is there. If you want to reach out to me, you can catch me on the DMs in Instagram, Vicky_Igbokwe. I'll also link in the show notes as well. Now, don't hide our connection. If you know of someone that needs this support, share this episode with them too. Until next time, my friend, if you haven't done something today that puts you first, I invite you to do that right now. Lots of love and speak next week. Bye bye.